Hey guys, another haul video out and about. Stick around and see what books I got at my favorite local con. Hey guys, Eric at SideQuest Comics, and I am at a rainy beginning of summer comic show once again in Kenosha. This is the Kenosha Comic Book and Collectible show at the Doubletree. So yeah, what a way to start the beginning of summer. It's rainy, but hey, what better weather than to spend inside going through long boxes and short boxes of comics. So let's head in and see what we can find today at the comic show. All right, guys. Well, that is the end of the Kenosha Toys and Collectibles show. I was there all day, which surprised myself. Digging and digging. There's a lot of dollar bins today. And no, these aren't comics. These are just some empty boxes that one of the dealers let me have and take home, so it's less to put in his car. But yeah, that is it for this Sunday. I think the next one is in, I want to say August. I have to double check on that one, but a lot of fun. Got some cool books. Missed some books because it just ran out of time, but I am happy with what I found. I found a lot of cool stuff. I did end up digging through those dollar boxes and getting a bunch of stuff for pretty cheap. Can't beat $1, right? And yeah, I found some books that were on my list. So let's head home and I'll show you guys what I got. Well, there you go, guys. There's some video of me walking around my favorite local con, the Kenosha Comic and Collectible Show. As you see, I did get a big stack from this con, and they do the con about 3 to 4 times a year. And I have been sitting on this video for a little bit. Something always kept coming up with different topics and stuff. Like recently, I think it was just a couple of videos ago, I did the 10 by 10 challenge at this con. And I think most of those, yeah, I think all of those were from the same dealer. But I do have some more dollar books in here that were from some of the other dealers at that show. Like I said, I did get a lot. So I'm going to, when we go table down, I will try to go through these pretty quick and not spend a lot of time on the creators. But there are some cool books that I got that are significant in some way or another. So I do want to talk about those. Yeah, I tried to get this out sooner, but like I said, other video ideas came up. So this one kept getting pushed back. This was actually, I think, my last organized show before the big con, the big fan fest that's down near to Chicago. It used to be the old Wizard World. So I am okay with that. I kind of am trying to hold back a little bit, save up some money for some hunting and questing that I want to do there. But I did finally get this out. So I'm excited to share these books. I got some cool books in here. So why don't we go ahead and go table down so you guys can get a real close look at these books that I got. Once again, I didn't get to see every dealer there because I spend a lot of time at some of those digging. But let me go down and I'll show you what I found digging. All right, guys, so I got a big stack to get through here, so I'm going to try and get through it fairly quick for you guys, so this video is not super long. But before we jump into that, let me just pop this up here so you guys can check it out. If you are in the area of Kenosha, Wisconsin, it's on the southeast side of the state. It's just right over the border for me in Chicagoland. Check it out. This is a pretty cool show that they do, like I said, a couple times a year. I do like these kind of shows, these small ones, because I usually find pretty cool deals at them. And let's jump right into it. Let me grab a stack here. And I am going to start with, as you saw in the video, they always have a table right there by the front table of just freebies for kids and whatnot for people just to grab. Kind of like a consolation prize almost. Like if you don't find anything inside the show, you can grab maybe a cool free book. And yeah, I saw this one here. It's kind of a throwback to my childhood. I used to love this cartoon growing up. And now this is a B cover. I wish they had the actual A cover because I guess that was the Rogues Gallery for Underdog. But this came out, it's Underdogs 1975 by American Mythology. I don't know if this comic company is still around, but this came out in 2018. And a very cool one to pick up for free. There's a big table there, but I kind of reserved myself, and I just grabbed the one this time. And then speaking of freebies, here was a freebie that I got from one of my favorite dealers there. He had like a big stack of these. He must have got them from a store or something. And he threw it in as part of my sale. This is a guy, Steve, that I get a lot of my dollar comics from. My last 10 for 10 challenge was from Steve's booth, all his dollar bins that he had. And this is Logan's Shadow Society #1, 1996. Very cool one. I'd never seen this, so I was kind of happy to pick it up. I have to read through it yet. I don't remember this from back in the day. So very cool cover on it too. So yeah, I got that one for free. And then we're going to jump into the dollar comics that I didn't feature in the 10 for 10. Some of these are from the same dealer that I did those ones at, and a couple are from some other dealers. But I've got this one, and this one actually goes with, and I featured this on the challenge, this one, 180 with a very cool John Romita Jr. cover and storm. But they had this one also in like a ton of them. Like almost half the box was this one and that last one. This is 181 in 1984. Very cool cover. I like it's got Lockheed here. I don't know. Is that a kiss? He's kissing a bigger dragon. I don't know. It's been a while since I read this, so I mean, it says "Young Dragons in Love," and I really like the trade dress with all the X-Men kind of hanging out on the title. So pretty cool pickup for $1. And I'm going to try and whip through these as quick as I can, guys. So this next little bundle here is a bunch of Marvel team-ups. And this first one is actually 23, 1974, with a cool cover by Gil Kane. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if you guys can see it right here. At some point, it was priced at $2, and they put this sticker right over the issue number and stuff. I've kind of taken that out of the bag and tried to peel it, but I think I'm better off just leaving it. This is a really rough copy. I don't know if you guys can see how beat up it is. And like I said, it was $1. I just grabbed a whole bunch of these Marvel team ups, so I'll run through them real quick with you guys. So this is number 23. And then next up, I have number 56 here. And this one I like because it's a Sal Buscema cover from 1977. Well, actually, Sal did the interiors. The cover is by John Romita Jr. So this is probably an early Romita Jr. Same thing. They put the price tag right on there. Oh, I hate that. This one I haven't really checked out to see if I can get it. I don't know. There's got to be a way to get those off. If you guys know, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to know. Moving along here, we got number 111. So another one that's kind of beat up. 129 with a cool Spider-Man and Vision cover. And then we have 139 here. And some of these weren't even in bags. Some of them were in the bags still that I got them. I have to rebag them yet. This is 142 with a cool Captain Marvel cover and Spidey in his black costume. And then we got 144. Whoop, let me switch some of these. 144 here with Spider-Man and Moon Knight teaming up. Very cool cover there. We got 145 with team up with Iron Man. I think that's Backlash. Okay, yeah, it says Backlash on it. Cool cover. And lastly, 149 for the team up. So I got a good chunk of the team ups. These ones are this title I've been slowly picking up here and there when I see them. So this is slowly building onto my collection. This next little bundle, you saw some of them in my 10 for 10 challenge at this show, but here's some more Spider-Man 2099. This is number 3. And I think these all run from 92 to 93. Once again, these are all dollar finds. I kind of decided that I want to start picking these up when I see them. I know it's probably next to Doom 2099, the more popular series in the original 2099 run. I think there's like 46 issues, so I got a long way to go. But yeah, I also got number 4. Here's number 5. Number 6. Kind of cool cover. And number 12. And unfortunately, it has a sticker price right there. 39 cents each, 3 for $1. Another one I'm going to try and get out. But then again, like I said, it's $1. I'm going to try. But if I kind of notice that it's not coming, I'm going to leave it. And I guess I'll just have to replace that one. And then sticking with Spider-Man, I got a Web of Spider-Man Slip Sliding Away, number 23. This came out in 87. And the reason I got this is because it's got Slide on the cover. He's one of those goofy villains from Spider-Man. It's not his first appearance, but it's an early appearance. I just like the artwork, too, on it. So, yeah, I think it's the only Web of Spider-Man I have. I've been contemplating if I want to start chasing these. I think what it's going to take is me just finding a big chunk of them in like a discount bin or a real cheap type of thing. So, yeah, that number 23 with Slide on here. He's trying to get away from Spidey. Okay, so now we're moving away from the dollar bins and some of the bigger books that I got at the show. And this one I've seen before from this dealer. It's the only one I got. I grabbed it real quick at the end of the show from him. It's X-Men number 46, came out in 1968. This is very, very low grade. I don't know if you guys can really see how beat up it is. I mean, look at the spine. But I wanted to get it in the collection. I mean, it was $8. So I couldn't beat that for something from 68. You know, it's cool. It's got cool cover art by Don Heck, you know, with Juggernaut. And I think it's got a couple stories, and it's like 2 stories, I think, featuring, you know, the X-Men, the original team. Very cool. I will have to replace this one, upgrade it. I don't think it's a super expensive book to upgrade, so I just got to keep my eye open for it. So then one of the other dealers, I started going through his stuff because he had a lot of X-Men. And this is a book that whenever I see it, I pick it up. It seems I have like 3 or 4 copies of this one, especially for $2. It's not high grade, but this is just a cover that I love. I love this cover with the wedding invitation. This is Uncanny X-Men 172 from 1983. Of course, written by Chris Claremont. And the art is by kind of an underrated artist for the X-Men runs. But this is Paul Smith that did the cover on here. And this is a key. It's Wolverine's wedding to Mariko. Like I said, I like this. I like this cover. I don't know what it is. I like the little side note he writes to Nightcrawler. Hey, Elf, don't forget the beer, you know, with the W. Very cool. Yeah, this is one of those ones. If I see it for cheap, I'm going to pick it up. It's one of those impulse buy ones, and I can't help myself. Now here's another one that I got a couple copies of because I love this story in this issue. This is issue 183 of the Uncanny X-Men in 1984 by Chris Claremont, and this art is John Romita Jr. Now this key is the first appearance of the Black Queen, Selene. Not her first appearance, but just as the Black Queen. And I love this story because this was like, I think shortly after Secret Wars 2, where they come back and Colossus actually breaks up with Kitty Pryde. Now, Wolverine being the protective so-so parent, I think he calls, or they run into the Juggernaut in this bar, and he says, hey, I'll buy you a round. You kick his ass. So I think it's kind of funny. I mean, at one point, I think Juggernaut picks up the whole bar and slams it on, against Colossus. So yeah, this is one of those ones. I like this story, so I'm going to pick up more than one copy. This one, I think, actually, surprisingly or not, is a little bit better than my original copy because I've got it since from back in the day, and it's been read and read and read and read. So yeah, very happy to get another copy of this one. And then lastly, at the same dealer, I am always hunting for Ghost Rider Volume 2. Now, this came out in 1995. This is number 65. It's kind of hard to read. It's so tiny right there. But yeah, these later runs in the 90s are really hard to find. So when I find them, I'm going to pick them up regardless of the shape that they're in because I'm trying to finish that run. I got like 11 left to find in the series. But yeah, this one is written by Howard Mackey and the art's Salvador LaRocca. Yeah, a couple more. I'm getting closer to the full run. 11 left. It's just a matter of finding them. I mean, I did just find the very last issue recently. So, they are out there. It's just a matter of finding them. This one, when I saw it, it was an instant buy because it's the first time I've seen it in a while. But yeah, so I am slowly, I think it's been 2 years since I've been working on this title. So one more off of the checklist. Okay, this one, as a fan of Tarzan and the Kubert family, I got this one. I found this one at another dealer that I visited there. This is Tor Volume 1, number 1 from 1975. And everything in this issue was done by Joe Kubert. He wrote it. He drew it, he inked it, he edited it. He did everything for this book. Only a 6-issue series. So, but yeah, it is very reminiscent of his Tarzan styles. Kind of an interesting caveman-esque story, from, a million years ago. So there's dinosaurs and cavemen and stuff. So it's kind of a fun book. I like the artwork. It's nice visiting this old artwork by Joe Kubert. I know a lot of people like his Sergeant Rock, but I'm kind of a fan of his Tarzan stuff. So very happy to get this one. I read it right away when I got home and enjoyed it. So yeah, that's tour number 1. Now, this dealer had a lot of good books that I couldn't help but not get. Now, this one is a little rough, but it's Creatures on the Loose featuring Man Wolf. And this is number 30 in the series from 1974. And the writer is Doug Monick. And the cover, this is a cover by Gil Kane and John Romita Sr., who did the ink on this. Now, this is the first appearance of Simon Stroud. I guess he's a minor character in here. But the big key is it's the first solo title of Man Wolf, otherwise known as John Jameson. So his dad is Spider-Man's boss from Amazing. If I remember right, he was an astronaut. Something happened to him in space, and that's why he's like this. He's not like a true werewolf, but I don't know. I don't remember his origin story, but very excited to get this. One of those oddball monster comics from the 70s, I'm gonna more than likely grab. Now, speaking of his origin, I also found this one in there. So this is Marvel Premiere featuring Man Wolf, number 45 from 1978. And this is actually the origin of Man Wolf. So as I just said, I don't really know the story. So this will give me his origin. And it's also the debut of Other Realm in this issue. Now, this was written by David Anthony Kraft. The cover and pencils in this is by George Perez. So, yeah, this was kind of one of those. I always see this book, and I always think about getting it, and I just don't. It was $5. I'm going to grab it. And I think the guy gave me a little bit of a deal because I got a pretty good bundle from him. And like I said, now I can read his origin. So next up, I'm doing these a little bit out of order because I got 2 from the Incredible Hulk series here. This is 474, came out in 1999. This is from the first volume, and this is actually the very last issue in the first volume. This was written by Joe Casey and the artist Yaver Peludo. And this, what I like about this is it's paying homage to the very first Hulk from 1962, where Bruce turns into the Hulk. Now, the original, I think he's gray. He was gray for a couple issues, and then something with printing, all of a sudden they started printing him green. But yeah, it's one of those things, and you see the last issue in the series, pick it up, because a lot of times those are harder to find than the key books. Especially as 1999 print runs were lower for Marvel and DC, for that matter. So yeah, I definitely wanted to grab this one, seeing it in the wild. Now, staying with the Hulk, this was one I've been eyeballing and hunting for a while at this time. And this is a big key book. I've seen it at my store for it's kind of pricey for what I want. This one I got for like under $100. But this is from Volume 1, Incredible Hulk 141 in 1971. Now, the big key in this is the origin and first appearance of Doc Samson, who, for a lot of the series, becomes Hulk and Bruce's ally. I think he started off as an antagonist, but then he becomes an ally later in the series. So, very cool old book from 1971, a big key book. Hulk is one of those ones I got hot and heavy for a while because I got a big bundle. I've been slowing down a little bit on it just because there's so many other series that I'm chasing. But if I see some of these, I'm going to pick them up casually, I guess, until I finish one of the other series. So very cool book to have in the collection. I'm very happy with the price point. And yeah, it's a big key book for the Hulk. Okay, you guys that have been watching the channel recently know I've been getting into magazines, the old 70s runs of these big comic magazines like Savage Conan, Vampirella, all the horror stuff. Now, this one I found at one dealer that I'd never seen there before. He had a bunch of half boxes with magazines in them. And this was one that I found. Now, it's not, anything special. It's a facsimile that Dynamite put out. It's part of a reprint of the original Warren Publishing. And it's part of Vampy's 50th birthday celebration that came out in 2023. And this is it's 1D is what this is. And the cover, it's kind of cool. It's like a mosaic tile type of cover by Frank Cho, I believe, that's kind of paying homage to, the original cover. It's kind of cool and different. Now, I did see another dealer there that I did get some books at that are coming up that had another, like a different facsimile of this that came out, I think about the same time, but it was was it a silver or gold version where it looked like the regular cover, but the title was all in the metallic gold or silver. I can't remember which it was. And that one, it was like a limited edition numbered type of thing. And it had a certificate, but that one was I think it was like $100. Now, I like it, but I'm not a super huge collector of this series. I'm going to pick them up, the keys, I guess. And then if I see a cool cover, I'm going to grab it if the price is right. So something like this, I wanted to just get it so I could read the original story. Her first appearance basically is what the key for this is. And I think I probably paid, I don't know, do I got a price on this? And this, I think I paid $5 or so, something like that, maybe $10. So price point, that's a little bit easier to swallow than $100 just to read the story. And I think the cover is pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this cover's cool? So yeah, cool cover to add to my magazine collection. Now, speaking of magazines, I did mention another dealer that had some, and I went through all his boxes and I found this one. It's a low grade, unfortunately, but it is for Dracula Lives series that came out in the 70s. This one came out in 1974. And this is number 6. Now, yeah, I paid, you see the price is still on there, $10 for this. And you can see how beat up this was. I may have paid a little bit too much for this, but I never see these in the wild. So I was okay spending this. And I think because I got another one, the guy cut me a little bit of a deal. Like he knocked off, $5 or something like that. And I just thought the cover was cool. I mean, this cover is by Luis Dominguez, and the art inside is Pablo Marcos, and the writer is Jerry Conway in this. So yeah, there's only 13 issues in this Dracula Lives, and I have 3 of them. So I mean, I guess I could go online and find them if I really wanted to, but I'm really trying to just find them in the wild. So yeah, that's a cool one to add to my Dracula Lives collection. Now, speaking of Pablo Marcos and the artwork, he also worked on this one, Tales of the Zombie. This is number 2 from 1973, all black and white, which is kind of cool. And this one's written by Steve Gerber. And the cover actually is what really drew me. It's a famous fantasy painter from back then. This is Boris Vallejo. And I do like the title of this one too. It's called Voodoo Island. So, it drew me in right there. But yeah, this was a character that I don't think he was in anything much other than his own title, maybe some of the other monster books, and maybe even Dr. Strange, maybe Brother Voodoo. I'm not sure. But yeah, I did go online after getting this to see how many issues there were. There's only 10 issues in the run. And number 1 is the only key because it's his first appearance. So I'm going to have to keep an eye open for those. And yeah, get them when I can at a decent price. So Tales of the Zombie, I think I'm hooked on this one. Okay, so back to my favorite dealer there, Steve. Besides getting dollar books, I did get a couple big books. This was a book I actually was hoping he would have brought. He said that he was going to bring this box of the giant size because he had a ton of giant size comics from the 70s, and they were all in really high grade. Now, this one I had my eye on the last time I saw him, and it's Giant Size Supervillain Team Up number 1 from 1975. And this is a Larry Lieber and Roy Thomas story that they wrote together. And it's got a couple different artists on here. Larry Lieber did some of the art. John Bashima did some of the art inside. But yeah, this was there's only 2 issues in this run of Giant Size Supervillain Team Up. I have the whole run of these 2 with Namor and Doctor Doom. That's basically why I got into it. These 2 ego juggernauts. But yeah, next time I see Steve, hopefully he'll still have number 2 in the high grade. So yeah, very cool to have this in the collection. And all I need is number 2, and I'll have everything they had for these 2 guys. All right, now this one, guys, you probably saw in the video. Holy cow, I don't know if I can get it all in here. It caught my eye because it's something I've never seen before. Now, I got this, and I tried doing a lot of research on this because it's kind of hard to find any information on this. But this basically, Near Myths number 4, it's printed by Galaxy Media. It's a UK company that printed science fiction and fantasy comics. And this is from 1979. Now, there's only 5 issues in this series. I went to, one of the main places I went to is mycomicshop.com. And they had them listed, but nothing was for sale. I think I did come across some on eBay, a couple other places, just looking for information about this book. And basically what Near Myth is it's described as a psychedelic sci-fi fantasy comic, like I said, from the UK, that's very similar to early heavy metal. If you guys are familiar with heavy metal, it's kind of a bunch of short stories that are very outside the norm. They kind of push the limits on storytelling for that time. Now, one of the big reasons I got this is, right away, is the artwork. This awesome artwork on here. Look at that back cover. Holy cow. That's my first reason for getting a comic, especially these magazine styles from back then, is the artwork. Some of these old magazines had phenomenal artists working on them. And then also, I got this because it's early Grant Morrison in here. He did a story in here. I want to show you guys some of the artwork in this thing because it's phenomenal. I marked Grant Morrison's here, so let's just jump right to his. It's all black and white. I like these old magazines with the black and white because you can really see the artist, their talent for, telling a story with, lines, basically. So yeah, this was the Grant Morrison story here. But as you flip through, you'll see that, through the different stories, the style of art really changes, which is what's cool to me, to see all these different short stories with totally different artists in it. It is a work of art. So I really am drawn to stuff like this. There's some old ads. Look at how this one changes. The illustration style is more of it's got some cross hatching, and if you guys know those terms, it's different styles of drawing the pen and ink lines. So very cool to see. Look how different that is. That one's kind of trippy looking. And then we got that one. It's not probably the best artwork, but it's very stylistic. It kind of gives you that feel of creepiness, and yeah, I really dig this artwork. So I might try to track some more of these down. I really like this, these magazines that have the different art styles like that in it. So yeah, and then just like I said, look at that artwork on the back. But yeah, that was one of my oddball different. I saw it. I was kind of like, yeah, I need that for the collection. It's very different. All right, so the last thing I got to show you guys is this. And I've seen these once in a while. I've seen them more so online and didn't, I've seen other people get them. So this was really the first time I seen it. And this dealer, I usually see them at the shows and I get stuff from him because he's got some pretty cool, interesting stuff. I'm actually kicking myself that I didn't go back sooner before the end of the show, because he had a half box full of Flash and Green Lantern Silver Age stuff for like, I think he had a marked, everything in there was half off. So and it was all low grade, so it wasn't super expensive. But by the time I thought of it, they were closing up, and I got over there, a lot of their stuff was packed up. But I do remember he had a whole bunch of these book and record sets on the table. He had some like Planet of the Apes ones, Batman, Spider-Man, the traditional superhero ones. And I saw this one, and I was instantly drawn to it because the art is John Buscema. And, this is known as Power Records, and this is number 31 in their series from 1976. And Conan the Barbarian here, this is called The Crawler in the Mist. And they did these records till about 1979 with like the Star Trek movie, the first movie. And very cool thing. I haven't tried the record out yet, but look at, that's kind of cool. Let's give you a little map of Conan's world. And there's a little record right there. You pull it out, put it on, and while you're listening to it, read the story, read along, I guess. And it's a basic story. It's made for kids to follow along. It's a monster story. It's Conan fighting a monster. So very cool art. I don't know if this was based on an actual issue, because I know some of the like Spider-Man, Batman ones were based on other issues. They just kind of simplified it or something. But yeah, as you can see in here, there's Hulk, a Monster of Frankenstein, Dracula, Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Man Thing. So they did a whole bunch of them. They have a little list here of the different ones. Very cool. I'll put the record back in there later. But yeah, and it wasn't super expensive. Look at that. Something different. You can see some of the other ones. Something different, I thought, for the collection. I like seeing stuff like this that's different, and worth to get. And just looking at the records, I don't even know if this was even used. It doesn't look like it's got any scratches on it or anything, but kind of cool. I do still have a record player, so I can actually listen to this if I want later. But yeah, very cool thing to have and add to the collection that's kind of comic book related, but it's okay, guys, there's my rather large out and about haul from the Kenosha Comic and Collectible Show. Let's go ahead and go up, and we'll close this one out. Well, I hope you guys didn't think that was a lot of books. Like I said, some of these were dollar books that I got in here. And I got some pretty good deals on some of these bigger books. I go to the shows with a lot in my head, like a list of books that I want to look for. A lot of times I don't even find them because I get distracted by usually the dollar bins or the discount bins. And I'm kicking myself because there was a dealer there. There's the one that I got the little Conan record at that had some, he had a box of, I think they were half off, Silver Age, Green Lantern, and Flashes. And I just didn't make it back over there, to look through them. But I did manage to get there in time for this one, and I completely forgot about the other ones. He was actually starting to pack up, so he was nice enough to dig that one out for me. So I don't know if you guys have any of these ones. These are kind of cool. I'm going to start looking for them more. It's the first time I saw them at the show, so I will have to look for some more. But let me know down below. You guys know the drill. Give me a like, a subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and comment. Please comment what you think of this out and about haul. Did I do pretty good with the dollar books? I was digging. Some of these were from other dealers. Some of these you did see, I got from the one dealer, my buddy Steve. You did see some of these in my 10 for 10 challenge. These were some of the leftovers that I wanted to feature them in this video still. Or maybe it was the cheap X-Men. I do need to upgrade this one now because it was like, I remember seeing it and I bought it impulse end of the day type of thing. But yeah, I found a bunch of good X-Men books that, of course, I have already. So these were like books I just couldn't resist. Found some, other ones, Ghost Riders that I'm looking for and the stuff. But let me know down below, you guys. Was it, the cool Man-Wolf ones that I found, or maybe it was the Hulk ones, especially this one that was a big key. Like I said, I was going to the show to look for certain looks. This was one of the ones that I wanted to pick up. And it was always nice to find ones that you didn't know you were looking for. But I have been getting into these big magazine ones lately. And now I'm like obsessed with this one, the Tales of the Zombie one I want to find. There's not very many, which is cool. And of course, stuff that you never expect to see. I've never seen this. Very cool art. I'm going to pick it up if it's got cool art in it. So, like I said, let me know down below what you guys think of these grabs that I did. And while you're at it, head over to Instagram. Give me a follow like there. I have lots of posts that you can enjoy there. And until next time, guys, happy questing out there at those little local cons and shows where you can find some very cool comics for decent prices. And we will talk to you next time.